All right, everybody, welcome back to part 3 of my 2026 wrestling DVD and Blu-ray collection overview. So now we're going to work through part 1. I went through all of the, not all of, because I forgot there were most of, there was a couple I missed. Got through most of the pay-per-views that I haven't watched yet. Part 2 was all of the, doesn't matter, all of the Blu-rays, pay-per-view, and compilations. Now we're going to get into the DVD compilations and best ofs that I haven't watched yet. But first, because I totally forgot that these were up there, I do have a couple bigger box sets here. So first up, because Blu-ray, excuse me, there's another one coming, I feel it. We'll wait. I have the Macho Man box set here. So there you go. This has, well, it had the, it has the Macho Man Ultimate Collection DVD. It had the Randy Savage Story DVD, but it did get a Blu-ray, so I just took the DVD out of here, but I haven't watched the Blu-ray yet because the Blu-ray has more on it. T-shirt, bandana, and sunglasses. I think the T-shirt still fits, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where I think the bandana and the sunglasses are upstairs, but it opens up and you get the match listings and everything in there, which is pretty cool. So the Ultimate Collection came out first when, it was actually, I think, before Macho Man passed away, but it's just the best of mostly WWE. There's a couple matches from WCW, but not much. And then disc 2, or the Macho, or the Randy Savage Story, disc 1 is the documentary, disc 2 and 3 is all the matches. Again, mostly WWE, not too many WCW matches. And then later, so here's the Ultimate Collection DVD, which again, this only came out on DVD. There's that. And I miss the Macho Man a lot. Always loved him. He was always one of my favorites. I always thought he was cooler than Hulk Hogan. He was better than Hulk Hogan. He could out wrestle anybody. And one of the things that I absolutely love and respect about the Macho Man is the fact that he would write all, like, what he wanted. He would write down what he wanted to do in his matches, like a movie. The Ricky Steamboat talked about that for their WrestleMania 3 match, which is on the, it's on the this one. Yeah, it's on this one. And then there's another match with them on the other the other DVD. But Ricky Steamboat talked about that, how they sat down and they wrote out what they were going to do, and then they rehearsed it. It's just, that's fucking cool, But then later, they did a unreleased Macho Man matches DVD. So I just put that one in there as well. So you got all the Macho Man stuff put together. And I think, a lot of the matches on here, I think were ones that they filmed and they may have aired, in special markets or what have you. I think most of them are not ones that have widely been seen. So there you go. And there's nothing from WCW. Okay, there is on disc 3. There's a couple, again, not many. Actually, this one has more from WCW than the other two. It has actually when he wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I know Stone Cold talked about that on his podcast and stuff. He said, yeah, it was great to wrestle him, but we only had 5 minutes, so we really couldn't do what we wanted to do, but I loved wrestling him. And I think a lot of the match, well, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I think it's the same thing. I think a lot of the matches on here were on TV and such. They just don't say that they are, because the WCW stuff, this was stuff that was definitely Nitro and some of the pay-per-views and stuff. So yeah, they lied once again. Unseen matches, my ass. But there is matches on here, that were not seen on TV and such. But I think quite a few of them were on TV. So once again, they lied. What a shock. So there's that. And then the other box set that we have it's actually busted. I have to try to fix it. But they did a couple of these, but I only have this one. Come on, damn it, behave. We have the Ultimate Fan Edition Shawn Michaels box set, which has the Heartbreak and Triumph DVD. And then it had some other stuff in here, which I think I still have the... Yeah, for whatever reason, the glue was not very good. They did not glue it in there well, because I think it broke off pretty easily. But there's the back of the... Try to get the glare off of it. There we go. There's the back of the slip cover, or whatever you want to call it. I thought I had the... maybe it's inside here. I thought I had the... Damn, it might have fell out. But it came with a t-shirt. The t-shirt actually still fits because it was, I think, an extra large, so it'll fit me. There was a necklace. I think my brother has the necklace. There was a cup. I don't know what the hell happened to the cup. We used to have the cup. But here's the DVD, which is a documentary, and then it's got a bunch of matches on here. But I have all of the Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart DVDs, so we'll get to the rest of them later. Like I said, this will not take 46 parts, because there you go. Even if I had everything, I don't think it would be 46 parts. So there's that. So yeah, disc 1 is the documentary, and then there's some deleted scenes and stories and some, extra stuff. And then disc 2 and 3 is all the matches. Now what's cool about this DVD is it has the Rockers versus the Hart Foundation, where the Rockers actually won the tag team titles, but they changed it because Jim Neidhart was trying to quit the company, and then they got him to come back, so they gave the belts back to the Hart Foundation. But yeah, that match had never been seen before, so that was cool. And because it never aired on TV, they never did commentary for it. And then you have, like I was talking about, I think in the last part, Shawn Michaels versus John Cena in a rematch from WrestleMania from England, and that match went an hour, and Shawn was supposed to win. Shawn was supposed to beat Cena for the title, and that's one of the times where I wish Shawn had been a prick and, bitched and complained to Vince and got his way, because it would have been nice to see him win. I know when he first came back in 2002, he won, but it would have been nice if, maybe he would have won one final last time, before he retired. So, we didn't get that. So, oh well. But like I said, oh well. Alright. So now, those are the two big box sets that I have. Let's get into the DVDs I have not watched yet of the best ofs and the compilations. So first up, when this came out in 2010, I was really excited about this because I was hoping that they were going to do more, and that was the plan, but this did not sell very well, so they didn't do any more. But it is Monday Night Raw. It doesn't say Monday Night, but I always call it Monday Night Raw because that's what they called it forever, and that's what I still call it because when I was a kid watching it, that's what it was. But Monday Night Raw, the beginning, the best of seasons 1 and 2. Like I said, these did not sell very well, so they never did any more. So it's 4 discs in here. So the first 2 discs is everything from 1993. So there you go. So I will go through these again, little quickly here, not every single. So we have from the first Raw, Undertaker versus Damien Demento, and Coco Beware versus Yokozuna, which I think that was the first match. Ric Flair versus Mr. Perfect, and a loser leaves the WWE. That's when Ric Flair went back to WCW. We got Shawn Michaels versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a lumberjack match. That one's pretty cool. I've seen that before. The Kid versus Razor Ramon, and then he became the 1-2-3 Kid. Marty Jannetty versus Shawn Michaels, which that was the match of the year from one of the wrestling magazines for the Intercontinental title. That's disc 1. Disc 2, the Yokozuna Body Slam competition. Bret Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow, the debut of Jim Cornette in WWE. Macho Man versus Doink. Razor Ramon versus Rick Martel. I think that's when Razor won his first Intercontinental title. Bret Hart is named Wrestler of the Year. So there you go. Bunch of cool stuff on there. So yeah, that is the first one, which is 93. And I think the front art is the same. And then this is 94, is the second 2 discs. But yeah, I think I found this at Walmart very cheap. I think they were doing a WWE sale because they would do those a lot back then. But I was really happy about these. I thought it was really cool, and then they didn't do well, so they stopped making them. I was wanting to get more Monday Night Raw stuff. So disc 3, the WrestleMania 10 coin flip to see who was going to wrestle Yokozuna first. Yokozuna versus Macho Man for the title. Owen Hart versus Doink for the King of the Ring qualifying match. And then disc 4, Bret Hart versus 1-2-3 Kid classic match. Bob Backlund demonstrates the chicken wings. So there you go. Bunch of good stuff. Oh, gotta love Bob Backlund, baby. Bobby! So there you go. Bobby B. And then I have some other Monday Night Raw DVDs here. This is actually a WWF DVD, but this is the Best of Raw Volumes 1 and 2 because they did a set of VHS tapes back in the day. They actually did 3. I have 3 on VHS because 3 never came out on DVD. Only 1 and 2 came out on DVD for whatever reason. They never put out 3. So there you go. But I think one of my friends had one of these. I don't think he had both. I think he had only one of them. And I remember when I used to go hang out with him, not every time we hung out, but we used to watch it. I remember watching a few times. So there you go. And I don't think there's any matches on here. I think it's just moments. Yeah, I'm not. Actually, the bonus features. There's 2 matches. That's it. There's only a couple matches on here. I think it's mostly just moments, but still cool. So there you go. And it's 1997 through 99, the end of 99. So there you go. So the kind of the prime of the Attitude Era. Then we got the Monday Night Raw 10th anniversary, which I think was this, because they did a 10th anniversary special. I haven't watched this, but I think that's what this is. Or it might just be the 10 best moments and then some other stuff in there. Again, I'm not entirely 100% sure because I have not watched it. And then there is some bonus moments, interviews, some extras. There's 2 matches, Undertaker versus Damien Demento, which was the first main event on the first episode, which we already talked about. And then the TLC match from October 7th, 2002, which was voted as the best match of Monday Night Raw. So there you go. Then I had this one before, and for whatever reason I got rid of it, but I got it back. We have the Best of Monday Night Raw 15th Anniversary, 1993 through 2008. And this is the Walmart exclusive, because it actually has the first episode as a bonus disc. So I had that one again before, and then I got it again. And I do like that the artwork is different for each one. Now, the logo for this one is a little inaccurate, because it says 93 to 97. They didn't have the logo with the truss around it in 97. That didn't come until later, so it is a little inaccurate, I will say that. There is matches on here and moments. It's a little bit of everything, which is nice. So there's that. And then this is disc 2, which is 98 through 2002. And then we have 2003 to 2008. Of course, fucking Cena. Same thing. It's a mix of matches and moments on here, which is very cool. And then the last Monday Night Raw DVD that I have is Monday Night Raw 20th Anniversary Collection, the 20 greatest episodes, uncut and unedited. They are not uncut and they are not unedited. They did change things. They did tweak things on here, so it's a little bit of false advertising. But what's weird is when this DVD came out in 2013, it went out of print very quickly. I think because a lot of people complained that it was false advertisement, because there were stuff that was changed and edited and stuff. So I think they pulled it out until people quieted down, and then I don't know if they put it back in print or not. Excuse me, but it was out of print, I think, almost immediately, because I remember going to different stores and stuff trying to find this, and I couldn't find it. I did get it at FYE. It's got some sticker residue left on there, and I think it was used, but it was still, I think when it came out, it retailed for like $50-$60. I think it was still that price, because like I said, it had gone out of print very quickly. So there you go. But gonna run through here. We have it's got a little documentary on here, and then you have May 17th, 1993, September 6th, 1996, February 24th, 1997, February 26th, 1997, which was that would have been a Wednesday, so maybe I think there's a typo. There's got to be a typo, because yeah, I don't think that's right. Maybe March 26th? Hold on, because it says, where's my phone? Oh, it says Owen Hart versus the British Bulldog. That's when he won, that's the first European title match. This thing's almost fully charged anyway. That might be a typo. Let me look that up here. No, February 26th. So what's... And then February 24th was the episode where ECW showed up, because they were promoting the pay-per-view. So what... Hold on, let me check... Check the results. Unless they aired a special Wednesday episode that I'm not aware of. Yeah, so that is a typo. That might have been when the episode... Yeah, that is a typo, because that was when the episode was recorded, not when the episode aired. because that episode didn't air until March 3rd. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, so Bret Hart versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Rocky Maivia versus Vader, the Sultan versus Flash Funk, Psycho Sid versus Mankind, and the British Bulldog versus Owen Hart to win the European title. Yeah, so that's a typo. So maybe that's why they pulled it out of circulation. So I think it was taped because that's when Raw was still taped every other week because they would do that back then. So yeah, it was taped on February 26th. It aired on March 3rd. So maybe that's why they pulled it out of print because it was typos. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, because that, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. So it was recorded on the 26th of February. It aired March 3rd. So there you go. That makes more sense then. So, hey, good thing I checked. Then we have July 21st, 97, September 22nd, 97, April 13th, 98, January 4th, 99, March 22nd, 99, May 10th, 99, March 26th, 2001, which was the last Monday Night Nitro, so they simulcast. November 24th, 2003, and it's not behaving. It's not supposed to do that. Get out of there. Okay, I don't know what the hell is going on there. October 3rd, 2005, which was the homecoming when they came back to the USA Network, which that actually got released on its own. That was a Walmart exclusive. That DVD is so fucking expensive. I'm not paying $300 to get it. So there's that. December 10th, 2007, which was the 15th anniversary episode. I actually watched that episode live. I think I recorded it. I don't think it had the commercials, though. April 21st, 2008. June 15th, 2009. March 16th, 2009. March 15th, 2010. June 27th, 2011. April 2nd, 2012, and that's it. So that is the 20 episodes that is included in here. And I do want to, after I'm done recording, I do want to go look up and see why this one got pulled out of circulation. Because maybe it was the typos, I don't know. Maybe it was something else. But I do remember that. And then we have a SmackDown DVD. We have the Best of SmackDown 10th Anniversary, 1999 through 2009, where they just switched the color scheme from Raw Red to SmackDown Blue. And unfortunately, this one never got an exclusive release anywhere with a bonus disc like the Raw one. It would have been cool if they did that, and they did a Walmart exclusive with a bonus disc of the first episode, but they didn't do that for whatever reason. And again, it's the same deal. It's matches and moments in here. So this is disc 1, but it's the 100 greatest moments. They didn't do chronologically like they did with the Raw set, which I do really like that they did that. So there you go. It's just the 100 greatest matches, and then or moments, and then they put matches in there as well. And then disc 3. Excuse me. Then we have Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Hulk Still Rules, which is the first Hulk Hogan DVD they put out. This is, I think, around, this is right when he came back in 2002. And I think when you watch it, it says WWF, but they put WWE because they had switched the name. But like I said, I think when you watch the DVD, it says WWF in there, because some of the early ones still did that, even though on the artwork it says WWE, that like they were done before they switched the name over. And I know, people, Hulk Hogan, get over it, okay? Shut the fuck up. I'm tired of hearing people talk. So there's that. But there you go. And they did a couple other Hulk Hogan DVDs. I have those too. So disc 1 documentary, and the extras is some matches and some vignettes and stuff like that. And then disc 2 is same thing, matches and some vignettes and stuff. So there you go. But there you go, brother. Next up we have Bloodbath, Wrestling's Most Incredible Steel Cage Matches, which is the first steel cage centric DVD they did. They did another one many years later. I just don't have that one. I think it's called The Greatest Cage Matches Ever or something to that effect. But the problem that I have with this one is not all of the matches are complete. A lot of the matches on here are just highlights. I hate when they do that. Even I think with the bonus matches, because they also put this out on VHS, but even with the bonus matches, I think it's there's Benoit. I'm sure somebody's going to complain about that. Some fucking idiot I saw online, they were like, yeah, like all these idiots post this AI shit with Benoit, and you care about a suplex more than what the man that shut the fuck up. Wrestling fans are so fucking annoying. I will say that they are so goddamn annoying. So there you go, which is why I don't participate in the internet wrestling community, because these people are fucking retarded. So there's that. Oh well. But yeah, the only thing I don't like about this is a lot of the matches are just highlights. So you fucked up on that one. So there you go. Next up, we have Breaking the Code, Behind the Walls of Chris Jericho. This is the this is the first DVD they released of Chris Jericho. They did do Break Down the Walls, which only came out on VHS, I think, in America. I think overseas it had a DVD, but here in the States it only came out on video. There's another Chris Jericho DVD that came out. I just don't have it, but really like that design in there. And the rumor is that Chris Jericho will be returning at the Royal Rumble, so we'll see what happens, because he is no longer with AEW. And this one did not come with an insert, so I guess I only wrote the first 2 discs. I guess, but I did write what matches were on here. But I think again, oh, you know what? It's because disc 1 is the documentary. That's why. Disc 2 and 3 are the That's why. Okay. So yeah, disc 1 is the documentary. Disc 2 and 3 is all the matches. So there you go. My bad. And then how appropriate to have Ricky Steamboat, the life story of the Dragon. Love Ricky Steamboat. Always one of my favorites. Can't go wrong. Same thing here. Disc 1 is the documentary. Disc 2 and 3 is the matches. And the reason why I work with Chris Jericho is because he came out of retirement in 2009 to wrestle Chris Jericho when they were trying to do that storyline with Mickey Rourke for The Wrestler, because the movie had just come out and Mickey Rourke backed out at the last minute, so they just had a bunch of the older wrestlers come out of retirement and do a little angle. So yeah, disc 1 is the documentary and some bonus interviews and stuff, his Hall of Fame, and also Ricky Steamboat got in the Hall of Fame that year too. And then disc 2 and 3 is all of the matches, and the Macho Man WrestleMania 3 match, and then the match he had, one of the matches he had with Stone Cold Steve Austin before he was Stone Cold. There's alternate commentary there with Ricky Steamboat. That's another thing that I loved about. For a long time, they were doing that with these DVDs and Blu-rays, where they would have sometimes both of the wrestlers in the match come in and do an alternate commentary track. So that one's very cool. That's very cool as well. Then we have one of my favorites. He actually did wrestle. A lot of people think he was just a manager, but no, he wrestled. But just a brilliant manager, and even better on commentary, Bobby the Brain Heenan. And I do miss Bobby the Brain Heenan. And it's a crying shame, the end of his life, because number one, apparently WWE refused to help him out with medical stuff and everything, so that sucks. And then number two, just he was still going out there and doing conventions and autographs, and the guy was dying, and he was missing. Like, you can, I don't like to look at stuff like that, but there is, pictures out there of these shows, and he's missing like half of his jaw, and it's just very sad to look at. And the ending of his life was very sad, but he had a great first and second act, so there you go. But there is matches on here, there is moments and stuff, and then his Hall of Fame induction is here. And if you are not crying at the end when he says the only thing that's missing is I wish Gorilla Monsoon was here, and here I go. But if you're not crying at that, then you're not fucking human. So there's that. But classic stuff. I love Bobby the Brain Heenan. Now we have another one of these unreleased matches, DVDs, but this is the Roddy Piper one, Getting Rowdy, and for whatever reason there's an interview with Ronda Rousey because they let her, apparently Roddy Piper gave her the permission to use Rowdy, and fuck Ronda Rousey, I could never stand that bitch. So there you go. But I think it's the same deal where there is matches that weren't widely seen, but there's also matches that were on TV and video and stuff like that as well. But I haven't even opened this one, so I don't know what's all on there. As I mentioned before, I do have this on Blu-ray, but I also have it on DVD, the Attitude Era set, because this is the Best Buy exclusive, which has, again, exclusive stuff on here. I think there's some extra matches and moments on here which only came out on this release because WWE, I got all sorts of shit flying out here. WWE at the time, even though stuff was coming out on Blu-ray, I guess to get you to spend more fucking money, they would do these Best Buy exclusives or Target exclusive or what have you. And there's nothing in any of these pamphlets that tells you what is the exclusive Best Buy stuff. But, excuse me, that's how they would get you to buy another copy of it. So the Best Buy exclusive had different material on it from any other version. Now this one I've watched before. I don't know why I have it over here. I guess I wanted to watch it again. But it is the new and improved DX. So this is one that me and my brother would watch all the time. And this is one of the reasons why I love this DVD is because of this, if it wants to behave. So you have little Shawn Michaels and little Triple H in here, and you can do the crotch chop. So there's that, if Triple H wants to behave. But yeah, it's just the return of DX when they brought it back in 2006 and 7. No, just all stuff from 2006 is in here. But it's when they brought it back. But like I said, me and my brother used to watch this all the time, and I guess I just put it over there because I wanted to watch it again. Oh well. Anyway, next up we have the original Monday Night War DVD, because they ended up doing, I think, another set, and those are hard to find as well. So like I said in the previous segment, it just depends on the title, and it just depends on the timing, because sometimes the DVD or the Blu-ray will be cheap. There will be other times where the prices go up. Like I said, I think now, because they took everything off of Peacock and it's going over to Netflix and stuff, I think now the DVDs and even some of the VHS tapes, I think those prices are going back up. So again, with wrestling, it's weird with the fluctuation of the prices. But this is the original Monday Night War DVD. It is a documentary, and then there's a bunch of matches on here as well. But I think it's just kind of very, very simple. It's very cut and dry. It's very quick. They don't really get into kind of the muck of things. And what a lot of people don't realize too is another thing I hate about WWE is they are going to tell you their version of the story. They're going to tell you their version of history. I get it. The victor belongs the spoils. But they did not win, like they did not get over on WCW until the later part of 98. They were getting their ass kicked for 83 weeks straight. Yes, I get that. But when they finally broke the streak in 98, that was not the end of it. It wasn't until later because WCW and WWE kept trading wins, and it wasn't until late 1998, early 99 when WCW started to lose every week. That's what they don't tell you. They think, oh, well, once the 83 weeks was over, WWE won every week. That's not true, actually. If you go online, you can look at the numbers and you can see, oh, WCW did actually win more weeks after that. And it wasn't until, late 98, early 99 when they started losing every week. So there you go. And also, you watch it, sometimes, even though they may have lost in the ratings, sometimes the Nitro was better than the Raw. So it is what it is. I could sit here all day and talk about that, but we don't have that kind of time. Nor do I think anybody would want to hear me bitch and complain about all that. So there we go. Next up, we got 3 Rey Mysterio DVDs, which I think these are the only 3 that they did. Unless there's one I don't know about. But the first one is 619, Booyaka Booyaka, that's my pueblo. So this was when Rey first came over to WWE, because he didn't come over right away. He sat out his contract, because he still had time left on his WCW contract. And that's what I love. Why didn't this guy come over? Why didn't that guy come over right away? Well, did you want to sit at home and get paid millions of dollars to do nothing? Or do you want to make less money, go out and work and get hurt? Yeah, I think I'll take the $3 million that I was making a year and sit at home and twiddle my thumbs. So there's that. But I think it's only one disc, because they would do these. They would do like these one disc DVDs. So it's a documentary, and then there's some matches on there for the extras. So there you go. Then we have The Biggest Little Man, and with this one, they did multiple colors out there. I don't know which one is the easiest one to get. I don't know which one's the hardest one to get. This is the one that I have, and I'm not going to go get... I'm sure there's people out there that have every single color, but this is the one I have. I think I found it cheap, $5 at Walmart or whatever it was. They probably got it on sale. I don't need to get every single color of every single release. Just like The Evil Dead, when Anchor Bay put Evil Dead out for the first time on DVD, I think they did 9 different covers because they did all the different posters and everything. And I'm sure there's people out there that have all 9 of them. I don't need all 9 of them. So there you go. So there's that. That's pretty cool. And here it's all matches. Of course, there's a little intro segment to the match, probably a little interview with Rey, and it's just all matches on here, which is sweet. But love Rey Mysterio, always did. All the luchadors I liked, all the cruiserweights I liked. I always found them to be much more exciting than the big dudes, because they could fly around and they could wrestle and do things, and that's just what I like. So there you go. And then we have The Life of a Masked Man. Excuse me. Which is the third and final Rey Mysterio DVD that they put out. Again, to my knowledge, unless there's something out there that I don't know about. But it's same thing. It's mostly matches. There's little intros and stuff to the matches, and then some outtakes and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But good stuff. Then we have The Best of WWE Confidential, which is a show they did. I think it was on for 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. It was more of a behind the scenes thing, but it's actually pretty cool. And I know it says Volume 1. They only ever put out one. They never put out any more. I think if you look online hard enough, you can find all the episodes. But yeah, I liked a lot of these. I thought this was pretty cool. But like I said, unfortunately, they only put out one DVD. They did not do any more. And I think, yeah, there is some bonus matches on here, which is pretty cool. Because like the Montreal Screwjob is on here because they talked about that. This is where Sean admitted for the first time, yeah, I was in on it. Yeah, no shit, Sean. Like, everybody fucking knew about it. So, people knew about it, when it happened. Like, come on now. Oh, well. Then we have another Best Buy exclusive, which I also have the Blu-ray, but the Best of the Clash of the Champions, because once again, actually, this one, it does tell you that there's 2 exclusive bonus matches, which is only on this. So the Attitude Era doesn't tell you what else is on there. This one does. So at least you got that. So this one's still sealed. So there you go. Next up, I found this randomly at a FYE. FYE, back in the day when they were still FYE, and like I keep saying, I think they're going to be the next ones to go out of business. I should probably look into that for the closest one. Actually, hold on, because I fucked up, because I do have a couple other, so we'll skip that one for now. But I do have a few more WCW DVDs here, yeah. Yeah, that's the last one. Okay, my bad. So first up, we got Starrcade, the Essential Collection. So there you go. The best of Starrcade matches from 83, its inception, to 2000, when they did the last one. And this one does not have a chapter insert, because it's probably a later pressing when they stopped doing it, but I'll make my own. Why not? No big deal. Or I'll go on eBay and try to find one. So there's that. And then we have the best, okay, well the first one's called The Very Best. 2 and 3 are just called The Best, but whatever. But we have The Very Best of WCW Monday Nitro. This is, speaking of FYE, this is the FYE and Suncoast. Remember Suncoast? Exclusive match with exclusive matches and moments. Again, I don't know how much or whatever, but the first one, it only came out on DVD, so there you go. But I have that still sealed, and then I have Volume 2, which, where was this exclusive to? It does not say, because I got this, whoever I bought this from, it was open. So, but I want to say that this was probably Best Buy if I'm going off of the other ones. So again, there's no sticker or anything in here. But yeah, I think this is the Best Buy exclusive, which again only has stuff that's on that version, which did not make it to the Blu-ray. But then the Blu-ray has stuff exclusive to that, so you got to get both. Oh well. But it's WCW. But anyway, as I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself, this was, I found this in an FYE. But back in the day when FYE was still good, and like I said, I got to check the local one. And well, it's not local, it's an hour away, but it's the closest one. And see if they're going out of business anytime soon, I'll go up there and get some stuff cheap, hopefully. But they used to have wrestling DVDs like crazy. A lot of these I got at FYEs very cheap and stuff back when they still sold all that. So there you go. But this is the $1 Million Tough Enough. Now this was season 4 of Tough Enough. But what they did was, instead of having, because the first season came out on DVD, which I need to get that one because season 1 was still the best. But instead of having it be a weekly show like the first 3 seasons, This was only a 1 hour special. So they put it out on DVD, and again, this is the Canadian release. But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why, instead of having this be like the other 3 seasons, this was the one where they just condensed it to a 1 hour special. Oh, I know why. Because they were on SmackDown. They were incorporating this into SmackDown for some reason. So there you go. But it got, the finale was the 1 hour special. So that's what this is. And then there's a bunch of bonus features on here. But yeah, for whatever reason, that season they incorporated it into SmackDown. And then they did the finale as its own thing. But you will see some familiar faces on the back here. That's The Miz, unfortunately. Ryan Reeves, he's not his, right there, that's Ryback. I'm like, where's his picture? Daniel Puder, who won, but he's a dick, and he didn't last long. And Royal Rumble, I think 2006, he entered, and no, it was 2005, because Eddie was still alive. That's when Eddie Guerrero and Hardcore Holly and Chris Benoit all beat the shit out of him for real, because he tried to break Kurt Angle's arm because he's a dick, and he didn't, like I said, he didn't last long in WWE. They didn't want him to be there. So yeah, that's what they did with this one, and they put that the hour special, and I think all the segments are on there too on DVD. But the first season of Tough Enough and that season, which was the last one until they brought it back, those were the only ones that came out on DVD. Seasons 2 and 3 never came out on DVD. I need to get the first season, because like I said, the first season was the best. Love the first season. Maven, hey guys, it's Maven here. Love that guy. He won. And then Nydia, but she didn't really go anywhere. So there's that. Anyway, I talked about this last part, but have the greatest wrestling stars of the 80s. I found this actually at a Goodwill. So there you go. But I love this one. The 90s one I really like as well. I don't know why they didn't do the 70s. I would love to have seen that one, or the 60s. Maybe they could have did that. Maybe the 50s, 60s, and 70s or something. That would have been pretty cool. I would have bought it. I know other people would have bought it. Like I said, I don't know how much of an interest there would be, but I would be interested. So they go through 15 different wrestlers from the 80s, and there's matches and stuff on here, which is cool too. Next up, I don't know why this only came out on DVD, because they were still making Blu-rays at the time, but we have Kurt Angle, the Essential Collection, which is when he came back to the WWE after being in TNA for all those years. But this only came out on DVD, stuck on DVD, but oh well. And I think it's just matches. Yeah, like again, it'll have little interview segments and stuff like that, but it's mostly matches, so I can't complain about that. But love Kurt Angle. Definitely one of the all-time greats in pro wrestling and in, collegiate freestyle wrestling and such as well. So I have all 3 of these, which is cool. And I had the first one I had before, and then I got rid of it. But the other 2, I don't think I had back, in the day. I think I got them later. But they did put out 3 of the championships back, in the DVD days. They did the Intercontinental Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, and the WWE Championship. And I really like the style, the packaging and stuff on these. So we have, again, Intercontinental, which, love the belt, love the title, and it's really cool pictures in here. I like that. And it's just matches. Again, there will be little segments in between, but it's just, 3 discs of matches, and then they broke it down. So disc 1 is the 80s, disc 2 is the 90s, and then disc 3 is the 2000s. So I think this came out in 2000. It says 8. Okay, I was going to say 9, but 2008. So there you go. But that's really cool. Then we have the World Heavyweight Championship, which this one's a little weird because they did the NWA, because the big gold belt, they did NWA, WCW, and then into WWE because they just recycled the belt design. Even though the one in the WWE, I think, was actually smaller than the previous one, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. So disc 1 is there is a documentary, and then it has NWA, not Ninjas with Attitude, National Wrestling Alliance, and then disc 2 is mostly WCW. There is one match from the Invasion storyline, so technically that would be WWE. And then disc 3 is when they brought it back in WWE. So there's that. But the last match on disc 2 is from when they did that, again, that stupid Invasion. And then here is all WWE championship. So there's stuff with like Bruno Sammartino and stuff like that up until 2006. So I think this was the first one to come out. So there you go. But again, I really like these. It would have been cool if they did like a one for the tag teams, but they did do a tag team DVD, which I thought I had. I guess I don't have it, so, or maybe I do have it and I already watched it. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I think I got this at the flea market, but I was looking for this for quite a while. But we have the Legends of Wrestling collection here, which I think the Heat Seekers you can only get in this box set, if I'm not mistaken. But this was when they, before WWE Network, they had WWE On Demand, and I think this was a program that they aired. Yeah, it was a program that they aired on there. It had a lot of the older guys and stuff, and they would have these round table discussions, and they would talk about different wrestlers and such. So, you know, there you go. So these are those episodes, and then they have matches. So we have Ric Flair and Sergeant Slaughter. So they're profiled in there, and I think they're only on one disc. So, of course. And then there's some matches in there. And then we have Jerry the King Lawler and the Junkyard Dog. And it's Michael Hayes, Pat Patterson, Jim Ross, Dusty Rhodes, and Mike Graham. And the only two that are left alive is Jim Ross and Michael Hayes. So there's that. And same thing. It's little documentaries about the guys, and then matches. And then, like I said, I think this one you could only get in this box set. I think these two they ended up selling by themselves, but this one was only in the box set, which is Heat Seekers, which were like the bad boys and stuff like that for wrestling. So there you go. People that were difficult to deal with and such. So there's that. But like I said, I think this one you could only get in this box set. But I got it for $10. I can't complain. And I know we're about at an hour, but I'll run through these last few here, and then I'll do a couple other little things, and then we'll get this done. And then next time we'll jump into some other stuff. So the NXT Blu-ray, I got this the same day, but this is NXT from Secret to Sensation, so it should be pretty cool. Like Samoa Joe's in here, because for whatever, like, that's one thing I never understood. When Samoa Joe first came to WWE, he went to NXT first. I don't know why, because everybody knows who Samoa Joe is, but whatever. They did that with a couple of other wrestlers that were already very well known, very well established. Oh well. Next up, we got The American Dream, the Dusty Rhodes Story, Daddy. I did have this one, and then got rid of it, and then got it again. Unfortunately, the battery is dead, but it used to talk, so there you go. But yeah, I don't know why I got rid of this one. Oh well, but disc 1 is the documentary, and then some matches and promos and interviews. Disc 2, same thing. It's matches and promos and interviews, and I think it's all the same. I think, yeah, it's all. Now Disc 3 has some matches, but it's mostly interviews and promos, and then Disc. Yeah, then it opens up again, which is cool. Then Disc 1 and 2 is kind of 50-50, so there you go. But love Dusty Rhodes. So there's that. Then we have Brian Pillman, Loose Cannon, which again was documentary and matches about Flying Brian, who unfortunately left us way too soon, at least in my book. Then we have the history of WrestleMania 1 through 9, which this was actually one of the old Coliseum video VHS tapes, and they just recycled it to DVD, which they actually did a few times. One of the Shawn Michaels DVDs, Boyhood Dream, that was actually one of the old VHS tapes they recycled. The Most Unusual Matches. No. Well, that was a VHS tape that I had. There was an Intercontinental DVD. The other one. I think it's called The Best of the Intercontinental Championship Matches. That was one of the old VHS tapes recycled as well, so we'll get to that later. Then we have the Best of Saturday Night's Main Event, which of course they did bring back, but this is primarily, I think, the old school stuff. I think there is some of the, there is an insert in here. When they did bring it back for a little bit, 2006. In there, yeah, some of those matches are on here, but it's mostly the old school stuff. So there you go. I think they only did one. I think maybe they were going to do more, but I don't think this really sold that well, so they didn't make any more. So there you go. Then we have Heart and Soul, the Hart Family Anthology, which is a documentary about the Hart family on Disc 1, and then I think the rest of it is all matches. So there's that. Good stuff. And last but certainly not least, this actually is on Blu-ray, but it only came out overseas on Blu-ray. I think it was supposed to come out on Blu-ray here, but they canceled it for whatever reason. But it is 1997, Dawn of the Attitude. So there's that. And it's Disc 1. It's kind of a documentary. It's more of like a round table discussion. It's Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, Ron Simmons, The Godfather, and Kane. And they just kind of reminisce about the year. And then Disc 2 and 3 is all of the matches and moments and stuff. So there you go. I think I at least watched the documentary. I don't think I watched any of the matches and stuff. So that's why I still pulled it over here. So that is all of the WWE compilation DVDs that I have not watched yet. So we are going to wrap up here. I do have a nice stack of DVD-Rs of different stuff that I bought over the years. So first up, let's just go through these quickly because it's just the discs. I have a 12-disc set. It's all Ric Flair versus Sting. So I think pretty much every time they wrestled, I would think at that point. Then we have a 8-disc set of Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. And I don't know whoever made these or whatever, I don't know what the fuck they did, but when they mixed it or when they edited or whatever, the audio is really fucking loud. So I have to turn the TV down to like 5 or whatever just to hear it normally, because they just cranked the fuck out of the sound when they made those videos or whatever. So there's that. Then we have a few Clash of the Champions here, but these are actually have the commercials in it. So we have Clash of the Champions 9, New York Knockout, and then we have Clash of the Champions 29, which did not have a subtitle, but since a lot of the earlier ones did have subtitles, I created my own. So I call this one 6-Man War because the main event was a 6-man tag match. So there's that. Then we have WCW Monday Nitro, August 24th, 1998, which has the original commercials. I should put these with the other ones I talked about. I don't know why I had them separate, but I just, because there was space on the shelf. But, oh well. I'm going to move things around as I always tend to do. So there's that. Then we have a 4-disc set of Lance Storm when he was in WCW. Love Lance Storm. From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, as he would say. Then we have a 5-disc set of Diamond Dallas Page and Macho Man Randy Savage when they feuded. Then we have a 2-disc set of Booker T, I think when he was the World Heavyweight Champion in WCW. And I think a lot of these were random ones that people gave. They threw them in when I had, bought other stuff. This is Halloween Havoc. WCW Halloween Havoc 97. We'll get more. Speaking of Halloween Havoc, we'll get to more of those in a moment here. We got WCW Slamboree 96. Some of these are the pay-per-view broadcasts. Some of these are just transferred from the VHS. So there you go. Like I said, I think a lot of these were free. I think I was buying some of these DVDs from a guy, and he's like, "Here, have these." I'm like, "Okay." I'm not going to complain if they're free. WCW Spring Stampede 97, which I don't think actually came out on VHS, which we'll get to those when we get to those. WCW Road Wild 97. WWF Survivor Series 1995. WWF Royal Rumble 98, I think. It's kind of scribbled there, so that's what happens when I don't label them. WWF In Your House number 22, Over the Edge. This is the first Over the Edge from 1998. It's not the one where Owen Hart died, which I do have that for, not for morbidity or anything. It's just to have it, to have all the pay-per-views and stuff. So there's that. This just says wrestling, so I don't know what's on there. TNA Bound for Glory 2016. WWF In Your House, I think 7. Yeah, Good Friends, Better Enemies, which was Shawn Michaels versus Diesel in the No Holds Barred match. I loved the In Your House pay-per-views. They were always cool. WWF Royal Rumble 1996. UFC 116. That was just randomly thrown in there. And then these I got from a guy. I don't remember who it was, but I think he sent me. I think I bought some stuff from him and he just sent me some extras. Ring of Honor Bound by Honor 2018. I think he just sent that to me. I don't remember buying that one. Then we have the All Japan Wrestling Summit 1990. And then I have another copy of Ring of Honor Bound by Honor 2018. This is the fan cam version, so it's shot from the crowd. And then this is the actual broadcast version, or the pay-per-view or whatever. I think Ring of Honor, they would do these like internet pay-per-views, and I don't think anybody ever bought them, so there you go. And then, speaking of Halloween Havoc, I have all of the WCW Halloween Havocs. These are the original pay-per-view versions with the countdown shows. So I have every single one of them here. So we got 89 and 90, 91 and 92, 93 and 94, 95 and 96, 97 and 98, and 99 and 2000. And I do have some more WCW pay-per-views with the original pay-per-view versions with the pre-shows, I think, on the bottom shelf. So we'll probably get to those in another, not, I don't know about the next part, but maybe the part after that. We'll see. But yeah, I know I went a little bit over an hour, but I wanted to knock out all of the WWE stuff. So that's all done. Next time, we will get into TNA. We'll get into the TNA DVDs that I haven't watched yet. And we'll just keep rolling from there, as Limp Bizkit said, or whatever. So anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Most importantly, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you soon. Later.